This challenge has taken me to plenty of parkruns across Sydney so far. I've been north, south and west, but I've yet to go east. That ends today as I make my way to arguably Sydney's most iconic parkrun. But does being iconic make it one of the best? By the end of this video, I will tell you whether Centennial Parkrun lives up to its iconic name, or if it's just a great excuse to grab coffee at the latest cafe trending on Instagram, wear activewear, and head down to Bondi icebergs to swim a few laps in the freezing July water. Plus, I also managed to snag an interview with someone very important in the parkrun world, so stay tuned for that.
Good morning everyone. It is Saturday again and today I've made my way out into the eastern bubble of Sydney at Sam's request to one of the most famous landmarks in all of Sydney. This early in the morning in the middle of winter, Centennial Park is a lot quieter than the normal hustle and bustle because this parkrun is a 7 AM start. That means the alarm went off a little earlier than usual, but there is an upside. The park is incredibly peaceful at this time of morning. The sun is only just coming up, there's barely any traffic around, and it feels like you've got Sydney's most famous park to yourself. I'm not expecting a lightning fast course like Rooty Hill or a challenging one like Cronulla. I'm expecting a nice, relaxed Saturday run, and that's what I'm here for. Hopefully I can chat to a couple of the locals and see some horses along the way. Sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. Let's go.
Once I managed to wake up and embrace the cold weather, I made my way to the start area. Even though this is one of Sydney's most popular parkruns, it doesn't feel hectic. Everything seems to run along nicely and without any issues. Volunteers are getting set up, runners are squeezing in a quick warm-up, and as always, everyone gathers at the briefing. There are plenty of quick runners here, but just as many people are out to enjoy a Saturday morning in one of Sydney's best parks. After the briefing, everyone gradually makes their way towards the start line. Time to see what Centennial Parkrun is really like. The start of Centennial gets moving surprisingly smoothly. With so much room on the field, there's no mad sprint to find space or awkward weaving around people in those opening few hundred metres. Everyone naturally settles into their own pace. You instantly get a sense of why this course is so popular. Centennial Park is genuinely a beautiful place to run, and the course itself is very straightforward. It's an out and back route, so there's almost no chance of taking a wrong turn. You simply head away from the start on the main path, take a slight detour down a dog path with a hairpin turn to come back to the main path, head to the 3K point where you turn around and then retrace your steps back to the start line to finish the course. If you've never done a parkrun before, it's very easy to navigate the course. You're never wondering where you're supposed to go or worrying about missing the corner because you've been concentrating on your breathing instead of the directions. You can just settle in and run. There are always volunteers and signage guiding the way. Also, I've never been in first at a parkrun, so there's always someone ahead of me to follow. Being in first, that would be a nice feeling. The surface is another thing worth mentioning. Unlike plenty of Sydney parkruns that are almost entirely on asphalt, Centennial is run on wide gravel trails and sand. They're well maintained and easy to run on, but they do feel slightly different underfoot compared to bitumen. If you're chasing a personal best, you'll probably find a slight difference which won't impact you a huge amount, but it's worth knowing if you've only ever run on the road. There are a few gentle rises that you'll notice, but they're over so quickly that they never become the defining feature of the run. It's more of a course that asks for a steady effort than an explosive effort. Because it's an out and back course, my favourite moment always comes around halfway through. As soon as you reach the turnaround, you start seeing runners coming the other way. The front of the field is already flying past. As I turn around, I see the runners behind me enjoying themselves with an easy Saturday morning jog. As the kilometres tick by, the scenery keeps changing just enough to stop the run feeling repetitive.
It's nice to have an easy Saturday morning jog after a couple of hard weeks. I'll tell you what, this morning it is absolutely beautiful.
One thing I was curious about before coming here was whether the 7 AM start would actually make much of a difference once the run got underway. If you're someone who struggles through Sydney's warmer summers, finishing your run before most people have even started breakfast is a pretty appealing option. So who would I recommend this course to? Honestly, almost everyone. If you're brand new to parkrun, it's easy to follow, forgiving underfoot, and never feels intimidating. If you're an experienced runner, there's enough space to run your own race without constantly worrying about congestion. And if you're somewhere in between, just looking for a really enjoyable Saturday morning run, Centennial probably ticks more boxes than most. With a great location and very easy access to boot, Centennial Parkrun does a lot of the little things really well. The scenery, the layout, the atmosphere, the changing surfaces, the organisation. Together, they make for a fantastic parkrun in an iconic location. After I finished my run, I got a chance to chat to Sam, who was the run director of today's event. Having a run director on the channel feels like royalty, and we have officially hit our peak. It only goes downhill from here.
So we're here with Sam, the run director at Centennial. Thanks so much, Sam, for having a chat to me.
No problems.
So Centennial is one of the only 7 a.m. park runs in Sydney. Why does it actually start earlier than other events?
When it first started, it was 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
But what happened was for the sports field, it got interfered with. So we're down at 7 o'clock. I think we're one of 5 in Sydney.
Yeah, my local Willoughby is also a 7. I actually really like it in the summer. It's nice in the summer to get out and get it done early.
If we go to Queensland, they're all 7 o'clock.
Yeah. What is the biggest challenge in putting on an event this size each week?
Getting all the volunteers, because we need a lot of volunteers every week. So we always, luckily, we've got a lot of Duke of Edinburgh kids, which help us out, but trying to get them every week.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for the volunteers. And is there anything first-time visitors should know before they arrive?
There is a trail course, and we're at 7 a.m. Every week, we normally get somewhere that comes up at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. Amazing. And last question, do you think Centennial is the most iconic park run in Sydney?
Yes, I do, because we're in the middle of the city, we're in a park, of course we are.
Yeah, amazing. Centennial is one of the most iconic landmarks in Sydney, so can't go wrong. Thank you so much, Sam, really appreciate it, and thank you for all your work that you do here.
No problems.
Appreciate it.
Sam is an absolute legend, and thanks so much for the warm welcome out to Centennial. He has actually also completed every park run in Sydney, so make sure you say hi to him when you visit. So, was the early alarm worth it? For sure, once I was awake. Centennial isn't trying to be Sydney's fastest parkrun, and it isn't trying to be the toughest either. It delivers a more consistently enjoyable morning parkrun experience. From the moment you arrive, everything just works. The event is well organised, the course is easy to follow, gravel trails are in fantastic condition, and the setting is about as good as anywhere you'll find in Sydney. Running through the city's most famous park as the sun comes up is a great way to start a weekend. The 7 a.m. start won't be for everyone. If you're someone who's already struggling to get out of bed for an 8 a.m. parkrun, losing another hour probably isn't going to sound very appealing. But once you're actually here, it's actually worth the early suffering. I really appreciate the early starts across Sydney. My local Willoughby is another 7 a.m. start, and in summer these early starts are much appreciated as the temperature swelters to over 20 degrees that early. Miss you, Willoughby, can't wait to see you soon. I would absolutely recommend Centennial to anyone looking for a casual morning run at one of Sydney's most famous landmarks. Even if you're after a fast time, the course is a great option, and there are some seriously fast runners dropping 16-minute times here. The course is straightforward, there's plenty of room to spread out, and there aren't any technical sections or steep climbs to catch you out. It's the sort of course where you can either relax or lock in, and if you're chasing a personal best, I think this course is still well worth considering. The gentle undulations mean it isn't the absolute quickest course in Sydney, but they're so gradual they never really interrupt your rhythm. You've got wide paths, very few sharp turns, and a surface that's comfortable to run on. There's certainly nothing here that's going to stop you from running a fast time. If someone asks me for a Sydney parkrun that offers a little bit of everything, this would be very close to the top of my list, and that's probably the biggest compliment I can give it. Not because it's the fastest, not because it's the hardest, but because I can see myself coming back here even when I'm not filming. That's usually the sign of a really good parkrun. This week I decided to take it a bit easier after a few faster runs the last few weeks. It was nice to have a relaxing morning parkrun, but I know the real work is ahead. One day I will finally get summoned to roads and I won't have any excuse to not get that elusive PB. Make sure to hit subscribe. I've committed to running every parkrun in Sydney, so at this point you may as well see this questionable decision through with me. It was a great idea while I was sitting on the couch, but my mother didn't raise no quitter, so here we are.
So that is Centennial Parkrun completed. 14 parkruns down, 21 to go. I'm 40% of the way through. I hope my maths is right on that, otherwise I'm going to get roasted in the comments. As always, drop a comment below on where I should go next. The first one wins. I promise after this parkrun challenge is complete, Lawson is the first one I will go to. I'm totally up for the beauty and the suffering. I've heard you all loud and clear on Lawson, so thank you so much for watching. Have a great week. I'll see you at the next parkrun, wherever that may be.